Hello, Sarah. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. Very good. So, um, yeah, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from China. I'm in Beijing.
China.
Yeah.
Beijing. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I just started on Verbling. This is my fourth day teaching on Verbling, and and I think you are my first Chinese person. Chinese.
Okay.
So, I've had
It's
a
my pleasure.
Yeah, so I've taught Chinese before with other organizations, but I've there's been a lot of Egyptians and
Yeah.
a lot of other, but not Chinese. So cool, cool.
Okay.
So what's the weather like right now in Beijing?
Today is a smoggy day again. It's if you heard of polluted air in Beijing, it's very
No, I haven't.
severe. hmm you can check it online. It's been a couple of years. Yeah, government tried to deal with that, but it looks like hasn't been solved yet. hmm
Uh-huh. Okay,
Mm,
no, I
it's
haven't heard
not
that.
good. Yeah, it's not good weather today.
Hmm. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's fine. We have no choice. If I could move to another country, probably I did.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you could move to another country, where would you go?
I don't know, maybe Dubai?
Oh, Dubai is beautiful.
Yeah, Dubai is beautiful. I
Yeah.
hope I could get
Have
a
you
job.
traveled have you traveled there?
Yeah, I traveled there in April, last April. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You traveled there in April. I was there in 2007.
So how was there in 2007?
It was wonderful. Well, it was wonderful.
Okay.
So,
It's not like an Arabian country. It's just like a southeastern country, like India or Pakistan, because there are full of foreigners, most of them from Nepal and Pakistan, India.
yeah. Well, what I felt like Dubai was, it was like East meets West.
Okay.
And
Mm,
because you had a lot of Western things, a lot of Eastern things, and I was there during a what was it? Um, I was during the Western holiday, Christmas and New
okay.
Year's, and New Year's,
Wow.
and they had an international festival,
Wow. Okay. That's that.
and it was
Yeah,
really neat.
yeah, that was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, Igor. If you had to have a chance to visit Dubai, do it. It's beautiful in that area. So
Mm,
yeah, I don't blame you, Sarah. If you could move abroad, that would be a place to move. So of course,
yeah. Yeah,
um,
this is a great place, but you need to find a appropriate job there.
yeah,
hmm
excellent. So okay, so Igor and Sarah, do you guys know each other?
I don't think so.
Okay, and Igor, can you tell Sarah? He was in my last class, so I know him a little. So can you tell Sarah where you're from?
I'm from Omsk. This is in Russia, particularly in South Siberia. And
Okay, we're close.
that's all. Close? Where are you from?
Yeah, China.
China. Yeah, it's close.
Yeah. So are you closer to the Chinese border than you are to Moscow, for example?
Most certainly, yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay. Have you had a chance to travel to Asia because of that?
No, I've never been to China.
Okay. Yeah. I've always wanted to take the Trans-Siberian Highway. Have you done that?
Yes, I've done that. And
Yeah.
there is no exciting thing about that. There is no. no excitement about that.
All right,
Don't take it.
spelled it wrong.
Don't take it.
Don't,
It's really
don't take it.
tedious. It's really tedious.
What I heard is if you're a person that likes to talk to strangers, it's a really fun trip. But if you like to stick to yourself and you don't to strangers, then don't go. So hi Roxana, how are you?
Which one are you?
Hi, I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Very good. Very good. And Roxana, this is Igor, and this is Sarah. Sarah is from China, and Igor is from South Siberia. And I can't remember where you're from. Is it the Ukraine?
From Russia.
Russia. Oh, you are from Russia. What part of Russia?
St. Petersburg.
Okay, St. Petersburg. So,
It's
so
near the Europe.
yeah, so very close to Finland, actually.
Yeah.
It was a 3-hour train ride, but I never got there. So, and the reason I didn't go to Russia. I got to Estonia and Latvia, but I didn't get to Russia because it was a bigger hassle for me to get
Visa.
visa. And so I just decided when I had the money, no, I won't go. So anyway, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And this next activity that we have planned, hassle actually, and I think I did spell it wrong though. Yeah, I think it's hassle. Hustle means, Igor, hustle means to be quick. Hassle means that it's you have to jump through many hoops, and it isn't worth your time.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But hustle is, you say in English, we talk about the hustle and bustle of a big city. And when a hustle and bustle of a big city is, you know how it's so busy and there's so many people in the big cities, where in the smaller towns there's not any hustle and bustle. So not busy, not a lot of people. So. But anyway, I set this activity up a long time ago in Finland, and it's part of my Hall of Fame activities. And basically, on this activity, what you have to do is we will go over specific scenarios. And first of all, what would you say to this person if you had a friend that was doing this specific thing? What would you say to them? And then after that, we will actually discuss it in general until the topic is over. So, okay, everybody understand?
Yeah.
A Hall of Fame. Okay, Hall of Fame. I call Igor Hall of Fame. And I call some of my activities that students have loved in the past. They are in my Hall of Fame. So, yeah. Did I say Peter? I'm sorry, Igor.
No problem.
My excuse.
We call this city just Peter. In many cases, Peter.
Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, let's talk about this. Okay, what would you say to this person? I am a mother who drinks while pregnant, and I know the picture is she's drinking milk, but what would? And that's totally fine, right? So I'm a mother who drinks, and when we say that, I'm a mother who drinks alcohol while pregnant. What would you say to a friend who is drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes while she's pregnant? Anybody want to start?
Could you tell her not stop drinking and smoking because it's harm to to the feant.
Yeah, so it's harm. It's harm. You can say either it's harmful to the fetus, or you can actually say baby, depending on.
Okay.
So harm.
How big is that baby?
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I must have pressed that twice. so okay. So
I would say that at this rate, she may just as well go jump off the cliff, because it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah, for the child, because yeah, Roxana, what would you say?
Oh, I don't know. I wouldn't say anything because only a very stupid mother can do it.
And you wouldn't have any friends that were that stupid, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping none of my friends would do that either. But do you guys know of people who have actually done this, or have you met children that are victims of mothers who have drank or smoked while they were pregnant?
I'm not. Actually, I'm not.
You know, what did you? Excuse me, Roxana. Hi, Aka.
I said I never met this kind of person.
Okay. Or Sarah, have you ever met anyone?
Yeah, I met some people. They have done things like that, but I didn't see any victim from this problem, from smoking problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So, a lot of the children, yeah, in the U.S. who have been adopted out of foster care actually have this problem, and because their parents were either they were drug addicts or alcoholics, and so the children are very destructive.
Okay.
So, yeah. So Igor, do you have any friends or that have children like this?
Fortunately, I've never met anybody like that.
Yeah. Have you ever met any children who have run into that?
Well, I was in the orphanage. Not me particularly. I was not raised there. I just was there. Just came there to bring some charity. And I saw a lot of different children there, and they all have some kind of a different story, but they couldn't say it to you. You had to talk to their caretakers, and maybe they were exaggerating to fish some money out of you.
Oh wow!
But still, I think it was okay. And I would definitely do this thing again when I have the funds to spare.
So where did you go? Where did you go to the orphanage? In Russia or?
Here in Omsk.
Okay. Yeah. So are Russians orphanage is still very common in Russia?
Well, right now there is only one orphanage here in town, but it became huge, so it's not like a lot of small ones, but one big one and big.
Yeah, and in China there are many orphanages as well, right?
Yeah, we have it, but the adoption procedure is really hard here. It's not easy to get a kid from orphanage. It's not easy.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
To be qualified, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually looking at international adoptions last week, just out of curiosity, and about like what would a single female have to go through compared to just a couple, and if they want to do an international adoption, and there are fewer countries that will take single females. I think it was Mexico and Bulgaria were the two that I saw. The rest, like the Philippines and China, you had to be, if you wanted to adopt as a single female, you had to take the children who have medical needs.
Okay, that's not fair.
Yeah, not fair, but I'm not sure why that is, but because I would think that somebody who has medical needs, a parent would need
good income to take care of it.
Well, good income, but a parent would need a partner, you know.
Okay.
So.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Who will adopt a child who needs medical care?
A lot of people do.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe the country will cover all the medical fees.
I don't think so. I think it has more to do with they just want to help a child, and especially if they're Americans, because the country doesn't cover anything. So, unless you're really poor, you couldn't afford an international adoption because it takes like $10,000-$20,000. So, anyway. But anyway, have we exhausted this topic? Aka, do you have anything to say about this? You've been very quiet.
About women food drinks, I've heard its effect to the kids, the baby in the womb, for maybe that chemical effect to the baby's body too, so they are vulnerable for addiction. I've heard of that.
Yeah.
So it's dangerous for babies too.
Yeah, it's a big problem. And for example, some of the chemicals, for example, I'm very close to a situation where the mother was taking meth. Are you guys familiar with meth?
Yeah, it's drug, kind of drug.
Yeah, it's a drug. It's a really bad drug. And
are you talking about methamphetamine?
Yeah. Exactly, in short for meth. In short, it's meth, and the kids actually are normal as babies, and it's when they're 4 and 5 years old that their behavior starts to become worse and worse, and then by the time they're in school, then there's a problem. But as babies, they're normal.
Well, I think I can see why it is this way, because when you're a child, like a baby, you don't have any higher thought processes, but when you're an adult or a teen or somebody who can think and reason, then your psychic condition might really show up in that case.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, this is really actually it's really sad when a woman does this, and it's well, especially sad if a woman is not realizing she's pregnant and she's partying, and then she realizes she's 7 months pregnant, and that's where it's really sad. So let's go on to the next topic. What would you say to this person? I am a parent who lets his or her children watch pornographic and/or violent films. Say basically the child can watch anything they want on the TV. Any opinions there? What would you tell your best friend if they allowed their kids to watch anything?
Well, if he let them watch pornography, I would say that he had gone out of his mind.
Yeah. Okay. And
Sure.
Instead of pornography, we say pornography.
Pornography.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, especially pornography. But how about violent films? Roxana, you've been quiet. You think it's okay for parents to let their children watch violent films?
No, I don't think it's normal, and I don't. I would ask this person why they do it. What's the reason for doing? Because children don't. Um, it's they don't get something. They don't get any knowledge or something good for them. It's no reason to them to watch these kind of things. And
Yeah.
and of course, I think it's will be a bad effect to their psychology, their mind,
Mhm.
and can be bad consequences.
Mhm. Yeah. It can, I think it can confuse children. If they're seeing
Yeah.
too much violence. Pornography, I think most people agree, but I think violent films, some people don't always agree that it's wrong to show kids. So.
And sometimes we can see it in particular time. We sometimes children can watch it and they like it. I think I say about violent films, but and we can think that it's normal and it's all right, but we can't see what happens in our mind, in deep down in our psychology, and we don't realize what kind of effects it can be on our mind, and we just can realize it after after a long time, and
Yeah, we realize it later.
yes, like
Yeah, and then it's like too late.
yeah.
So, but that's the same thing. What about violent video games? Aka, Igor, Sarah, what do you think? Are
Well, I think
violent
it's
films, video games, is it bad for kids?
well. I think you know it depends on the age of a kid. If it's like 8 years old, then no violent things for him. If it's like 16 or 15, maybe some violence may be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
But because you have to let off steam sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't do that, the pressure will build up and eventually explode.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. And in these violent movies or violent video games, you can do exactly that. Just let off steam, let off your steam. Just hurt somebody on the screen or something like that. And
Okay, so
it may prevent you from hurting a real person.
okay, so
The only reason you need to realize what's real and what's on the screen.
So you think it could be violent video game, for example, could be therapeutic for somebody?
Yeah, I don't think that may be therapeutic. It's just everything, everything is good if it's balanced. If you're only playing these violent video games or watching violent movies, it may adversely affect you in this case. But if you do it from time to time, then I don't see any harm in that.
Okay. Yeah, so it depends on if it's every day, all the time, and so forth. Yeah, and I'm sorry, I can't read your name. What is your name? The new person?
Andrew.
Andrew? Okay. Welcome, Andrew. Where are you calling from?
I'm from Kiev.
Kiev. Okay. Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Welcome. So what do you think? Do you think violent films and violent video games are harmful for children?
No, I don't like it. I think it's the worst, one of worst thing that it would be. I
Mm-hmm.
hate it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I like only fun movies.
Okay. So
Have a good time.
yeah, I like comedies, and then of course the video games I play are like Pac-Man and Tetris. So, Aka, what is your opinion?
Yes, I think it causes a huge impact to their mind, so that's why they are attracted to, some of them are attracted to that, or just a curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, kind of parental control kind of thing might work. But if they grow up a bit, maybe they might know the kind of secret route to watch these kind of things. So it's very difficult problem if the parent want to stop that. So maybe discussion, or just say don't maybe small children, maybe parents just say it's not good, so don't watch that, could work. But maybe after they grew up a bit, maybe we need to discuss why. Yeah, or maybe
Talk to them
yeah,
about
talk
why
to
it
them.
could be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I agree with you there that for small children, it never. But I personally know somebody who lets their kids see violent films, and I'm like, really? But they know me, and they're like, oh, Holly, be
Because
quiet. So.
when I was a kid, so the violence is not so real as nowadays. But even though I thought the actor or actress actually died in the TV, so I wished for them, I don't know, open the eye or something. So for kids, it's very real actually, because they cannot understand what is real, what is fictional.
Yeah, I think like with my nephews and niece, they're starting to, the 5 and 6-year-olds, they're starting to realize that things they see, especially in cartoons, are not real.
Right.
And at this point, for them, seeing violent films would not be good for them. So, Sarah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's not good for children to watch violent film and play violent video. But in my country, I think there is a notice before the game starts, or video game starts. It says under 18s are not allowed to play this thing, or it's better to not to watch this movie.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that should be. And I think I also agree with the guys who just spoke. They said the children, they cannot to see what is the reality and what is imaginary. Sometimes maybe in video they cannot defeat the enemy in video. They just move it to their real life. They don't think that would be wrong in their life. They cannot, they cannot just to feel. They cannot judge their own behavior. Sometimes they don't have that kind of ability yet.
Yeah, so they can't. Let me correct pronunciation. They cannot judge their own behavior. Yeah, I agree with you. I actually agree with what everybody has said. And so Igor basically said, at least for older people, teenagers maybe, a violent video game could be therapeutic. You want to beat your teacher up, instead you go home and and kill somebody on screen. But okay, let's go on to another. What would you say to a person who drives at 225 kph on the motorway? And this is British English.
I'd say faster.
Faster?
Yeah. I don't
Okay.
know. Actually, it's not a very great idea to run this
Is that
high speed because you know when you're driving at this speed, nothing is going to really protect you from the impact.
uh-huh.
Especially even you know at this kind of speed, the forces are tremendous, and I don't know if there is any kind of countermeasure to prevent dying or at least serious injuries from that. So yes, I think it's too risky and it's not worth it. It's just playing with your life
Yeah.
and with the life of others. Too reckless.
Mm-hmm. I can see what you're saying. Totally see what you're saying. So anybody else have an opinion?
About speed. Okay, the only thing I can say is I don't want to marry someone who likes to drive very fast. But I think, yeah, I'm afraid of that thing. I have some friends who are from Middle East because they're from rich country. The only thing can satisfy their desires is motorbike or cars. They drive very fast. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. When the accident happens, it will be a very serious accident. So I'm afraid of things like that.
Yeah, I can understand that as well. And I agree with you. Of course, I'm a grandma driver, so I need to marry somebody that is a little bit more of a, not a grandpa. He needs to be a little bit more risky than I am. So, what do you say, Thomas? Or Andrew, I'm sorry. Thomas was somebody else that came in.
I think it's so dangerous, not only for them, but for people who surround them, for surrounding people. And also, for example, in my city, in the streets, especially at the night, they make a lot of noise when they drive at the high speed and at the motorcycle. I hate them because of that a lot amount of noise.
Yeah, and I mean it's dangerous for everybody, you know. And if it's on a country road, it's even dangerous, you know, when they know nobody's going to be there. So, Aka, what do you say? What do you think about this?
Maybe this person, passed through very quickly, so I cannot say anything, but I just avoid. Or and I said, "Oh my gosh!" But kind of how can I say? Radar is on the highway, kind of camera. So sooner or later, that person was checked by police by that kind of radar. Speed trap radar or camera.
Yes, I mean sooner or later they will be caught. Actually, they'll be caught by the police. But yeah, but you know what have you guys? I mean, in the States, every year we hear about a tragic car accident because teenagers, 16, 17, 18 years old, were out in the countryside driving 100 miles per hour, which is about the same as 220 kph. And it's not on the motorway or the freeway, but on a country road.
Yeah.
And they end up dying because of that. It is so sad.
So actually after 20, the age of 20, we got a driver's license.
That's
so
probably
for teenagers, motorbike accident more frequently happens here.
So that is a question that would be interesting. So in Japan, it's the age of 20 when you get your license, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And Russia, Roxana, how old are you when you get your driver's license in Russia?
Oh, I don't know exactly. Maybe 18 years.
18.
18, okay.
Yeah, 18, sorry.
Yeah, I knew it was Igor or Roxana. And in China, how many How old are people when they can
How
get
old? I think is 16 when you get your citizen card. Uh-huh.
16 when you get your driver's license?
16, yeah.
Okay. And then how about in the Ukraine?
In Ukraine, is the same as the Russia. It's from 18.
18. And I know that in Finland, it's also 18. And in the U.S., and say it's anywhere from 14 to 16, depending on the state. So if it, and then I believe actually it's 14 to 18. I think like New York City is 17 or something. So there might be some states that are 18 or 17. But in the farm areas, it's 14 or 15 or 16, and so people are very young.
So
And-
teacher.
Yes.
For state is a special age. Yes.
Yeah, each state decides the law.
Yep.
So, like when I was 14, I could have gotten my license. My brothers all got their license at 14. I actually was much older. So, but all of my friends got their license at 14. But that's in Idaho. But nowadays in Idaho it's 15. But in Oklahoma, it was 16. So each state is a little bit different.
Mhm.
Yeah.
By the
But yeah,
way, if
yeah.
you crave such high speed, why not join a racing team or something like that?
True. I think it's because only rich people can do that. So anyway, let's go to the next topic. What would you say to this person? I have a big dog and I live in a small flat.
I'd say whatever suits you.
Okay. So it's no problem there. Anybody else have an opinion about that one?
Let me to say. I think it's violent to pet
Uh-huh.
animal. It's violent to animal.
Hmm. And we actually would say cruel to the animal instead of violent. Cruel to the animal. And why would you? Could you clarify that a little bit more? Why would you say that it's cruel to the animal?
Because the animal needs more places, more open places. Maybe on the
Mhm.
maybe the countries, the open place, open air.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the if they live in a small flat, they just have really no place to go, and unless the owner has 3 hours a day to walk them, it's really cruel to the animal. Okay, I agree with you there. When it comes to a large dog, my dog is a medium-sized dog, and he fit perfectly in my small flat. So.
I think it's better to animals if it would be live at the countryside.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I agree with you there.
And
When
even it's better for dogs to form packs.
Yeah, well, really?
Well, they tend to do that. They form packs.
Well, yeah, they
Well,
do.
they have a chance.
They do. Well, the thing about dogs is they think that we are part of their pack, and so we have to treat them like we're part of the pack. So, and that they're not the top dog. So, but I know when I moved back to the States 5 years ago, and I brought my dog, and between moving to the city or moving to the countryside, the reason I chose the countryside was because of my dog. So that he could have a yard and he could run and it's really worked out well. So, Aka, what do you think? a big dog and a small flat. Do you think they mix?
No. So maybe the person needs to move to old house, bigger house, not apartment.
Uh-huh. Okay. And Roxana, what do you think?
I absolutely agree with that. A small flat is cruel to the animal, and I know the stories. Then, for example, my mother had a dog when he was young. It was big dog, and he had a small flat, but he walked with her dog a lot of hours a day, and it was good. All was all right, but when he had to moved away from his town, and her dog stayed with my grandmother, with her mother, and of course she didn't walk a lot with it, and only after 1 year this dog died because of it. She had disease, and she had died. Only after 1 year living in a small flat without fresh air.
Yeah, because she wasn't getting the exercise that she required, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to walk a lot, and it was very bad for her.
Yeah, yeah. And Sarah, what do you think?
I think the person who has a big dog has to move to a countryside because it's annoy people. If you have a dog, this behavior could annoy people around you, and to show your respect to your neighbors, it's better to find a wider place to raise your dog. And in China, we also have a lot of situations because if you heard of it, we have only child policy. So after the child have grown up and their parents has no one to accompany with, so the good way is to have a dog. So we have a lot of dogs in China, but always they just buy a small dog to raise. But it's also annoying people sometimes when dog comes to you and barking at you.
Yeah. It is true. Especially, it's fine if the person's like if like I'm a dog person. I have a dog and I love dogs, and so if a neighbor dog comes up to me and it's friendly, I love it. But if somebody doesn't like dogs and my dog goes up to them, I feel so bad, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's go to the next topic. What would you say to a friend who climbs difficult mountains despite bad weather forecasts?
I'd say just wait around a little bit. Wait for better weather.
Yeah, so wait for the better weather.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Coffee Toffee.
Jim Carrey.
Sorry, teacher. I didn't got the.
Hello?
Can you read it, your question?
Yeah, I said hello. What I said is, what would you say to a person who climbs? It's on the board right here. Who climbs difficult mountains despite bad weather conditions, by weather forecasts? What would you say to a friend of yours who's planning a trip to climb a mountain, and it's supposed to be a snowstorm?
I got it.
Yeah. So question for you, where are you calling from? Okay. So anyway, Andrew, what would you say to a person who climbs difficult mountains despite bad weather forecasts?
Uh, I would say he is extremely brave. He had a lot of strength, and in despite of good weather, he decided to go to climb to a mountain. Maybe he looked like an Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you would either say in spite of good weather, in spite of, or you would say despite good weather. So and not despite of. So okay.
Despite.
Yeah. Everybody appreciates that because I think it's a common mistake made by most speakers. So, Sarah, what would you say to somebody who is planning a trip to climb a difficult mountain?
To me, I really, without despite part, I cannot understand people why they like to climb difficult mountains. I think if you just want to have exercise or do sport, you can find a small mountain and to have fun. But once I was watching TV, there is a Chinese TV show says there is a lot of the bunch of people, they like to climb Everest. They paid about 300,000 kuais, about $500,000, not $50,000, yeah, to climb Everest. They almost sold their house and their properties just to. I understand people have a hobby, but this kind of hobby, I cannot. It's not understandable to me.
Yeah, okay. I kind of understand it. If you started out always climbing smaller mountains, then you want to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. I can kind of get it, but I can't understand why someone would sell their home or their car to climb Mount Everest. So
it's just like they addict something, like addict drugs. Someone just addict climbing mountains.
Yeah, there are actually, I think people. You're right. You're actually addicted to. You're addicted to something, but so some people are actually addicted to dangerous situations. You know, or what is it? They're addicted to extreme sports.
Yeah.
Do you call them adrenaline junkies? Adrenaline junk.
Adrenaline junkies. Very good for thinking of that. Adrenaline junkies. So.
Adrenaline junkies.
Junkies. Okay. Adrenaline is, you know, when if something an emergency happens and all of a sudden you get something that just comes into you can do everything. You can pick up a car because your child's under it because you have this adrenaline. Okay, and a junkie is a slang for like a drug addict. Okay. A drug addict, a junkie. The slang for drug addict, one of the slangs, there's many, is a junkie. So an adrenaline junkie is somebody who just has to. You're actually addicted to dangerous things. So, Akka, what would you say to somebody who climbs difficult mountains despite bad weather forecasts?
Maybe some of them are very kind of the professional type, you know, try the Everest or something. Maybe they go where even the weather is bad because the mountain weather is pretty changeable. But for ordinary people, yeah, maybe kind of adrenaline rush, they like it. Or I heard some surfers dare to surf in a typhoon day, because in typhoon day a lot of high tide comes to the ocean from the ocean. So and some of them were rescued after that actually. So it's dangerous and it's kind of bad for the rescue team too, because
Yeah.
rescue team have to rescue them, even though they go there for fun or for the
Exactly.
excitement. Yeah.
Exactly, and and personally, I think that if somebody who is always doing that kind of sports, and then a rescue team has to actually spend their time and the money to come rescue them, they should be required to pay for part of that. That's my personal opinion. So.
Yeah, if they hired commercial rescue team, they have to pay, but kind of fire department or rescue team and public, kind of taxpayer pay for that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But in the States, one of the things that happens, if you one time I ended up calling calling 911 because I smelled smoke in my house, and it turned out that it was the furnace had gone out, and it was not an emergency. But the fireman looked at me and he said, "I will not charge you for this." And so I was very happy, but I was also did not know that if you call 911 and it's not an emergency, that you can get charged. So anyway, Mr. Coffee, let's go into the next one, and I'll ask him. What would you say to a person who leaves cans, plastic bottles, and other rubbish on beaches and other places of natural beauty? So, Mr. Coffee, what would you say?
Oh, I leave plastic. I think the person is kind of massive. I mean, kind of. I think massive, I guess.
Massive? What did you say?
I really forget the vocabulary.
Okay, no worries, no worries.
Sorry, teacher, can you repeat your question?
Well, it's on the board right here. It's what would you say to this person who leaves cans, plastic bottles, and other rubbish or trash on beaches and other places of natural beauty? So, what people who are litter, they're called litter bugs.
We can use airhead for that person.
No, and you can call them an idiot. An airhead is someone who is usually is not understanding humor, or is forgetful. So.
Like idiot.
Yeah. But somebody who's an idiot, could be a person who litters. They're like not considering the environment. So.
It means my friends are idiot.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't say that to them. Maybe you would say, think about what you are doing. Say, think about this.
Oh yeah, I think it's a good one.
Think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's very good, Igor. Let's see what Igor wrote for Airhead. It's like a wind in the back of their skull because there is no brain there, just emptiness. So.
Yes.
Okay. So, Andrew, what would you say to somebody who is littering on beaches and other places of natural beauty?
Sorry, teacher. I haven't any idea.
Okay.
I misunderstand the questions.
Okay. Can you
Little
see
bit,
the board?
No.
Can you see the board?
No, I can't.
Oh, okay. Okay. On the board it says if you have a friend who is throwing their trash outside on beaches and mountains, and they're not putting their trash or their garbage in the right place.
Oh, thank you, teacher. I got
Yeah.
it. I got it. These questions.
Okay.
I when I see that kind of things, that kind of people, I hate them because it's extremely unpolite to surrounding people and to my country, to my city. It's they.
Yeah.
I think they.
Yeah. So you think they're very impolite to your country and your city. That's very good. Yeah.
I have desire to hit them.
Okay. That's kind of like what Mr. Coffee said. They're idiots. So, right?
Yeah.
They're not thinking. They're not thinking about what they are doing. So, Aka, what would you say?
Maybe don't do that. It's very harmful for the environment.
Yeah.
Nowadays, garbage is circulating the ocean, the kind like a garbage belt. So it's these garbage are not kind of how can I say? I forgot the word. Anyway, it's staying in the ocean, because it cannot dissolve into the water. So talking about plastic went to the small particle in the end, and that small particle shining in the sunlight, it really looks like planktons. So fish eating that plastic nowadays. So it's accumulating fish's body.
It's not good.
Yeah, maybe I send a link, YouTube link for that video or something.
Yeah, do. That would be interesting to see. Yeah. Anyway, well, it looks like we are out of time. It's been a pleasure working with you and helping you practice and learn your English. I wrote down some feedback on the chat board. So if you want to see some feedback that I didn't actually say, and I hope to see you again in another class. And check me out on on Facebook, Teacher Holly. Verbling Teacher Holly or Teacher Holly Verbling or something like that. So, okay, I'll see you later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.